What determines if a person is someone who is after God's own heart? David's story shows us that it's not about outward appearance, but a heart that seeks and trusts God. Welcome back to the Daily Lift. When you study the life of David, you can see that he was one of those heroes of faith that certainly stood out, and not just to Israel, but to God himself. And when God rejected Saul as king, he told Samuel, "The Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And this shift in leadership marks a major turning point for Israel. Saul was everything that the people wanted. He was tall, handsome, and he was certainly commanding. But he lacked what mattered most, a heart that was willing to submit to God. In contrast, David didn't look the part of a king. He was the baby of the bunch, and he was out tending the sheep while his brothers were lined up for Samuel's inspection. He wasn't even called to the party until after the fact. Yet, underneath that humble exterior was a man whose heart beat in rhythm with God's will. David didn't rely on his own strength or image. Instead, he sought God's guidance and trusted God's timing. While Saul's reign was marked with presumption and disobedience, David's story was filled with moments of waiting and seeking. He refused to take shortcuts, even when he had opportunities to kill Saul and claim the throne for himself. Instead, David said, "The Lord forbid that I should do this thing to my master, the Lord's anointed." 1 Samuel 24:6. David's strength as a leader and warrior didn't come from his own size or his sword. It came from a deep understanding of God's nature and his willingness to mold his actions to God's will. Where Saul acted first and consulted God later, if at all, David began with prayer and he trusted God to shape the outcome. And this contrast teaches us a powerful lesson. It's not about what others see in us. It's about what God finds right here. True leadership and success does not come from appearances or talent, but from a commitment to seek God, trust his timing, and follow his lead. So as you go about your day today, ask yourself, are you chasing the world's standards, or are you seeking to be someone after God's own heart? Keep seeking, keep trusting, wait on the Lord, and as always, go lift somebody up.